Jaya Dari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय हरे कृष्णा
Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Prabhu, you have been here multiple times. No need for a special introduction, but just for the benefit of everybody. So Uddhava Preshtha Prabhu has been one of our very, very senior devotees, has been with his con for decades, many decades now. And he is a very fantastic preacher, knows the philosophy in detail with practical examples. And he has a unique style of explanation also. And he always, explains Bhagavad Gita, especially with some kind of short forms, and based on that short form then he will explain kind of a section of verses and then go on to explain the concept as well. So this is something which I aspire to be able to do. And I really like his company, I really like his knowledge, always inspiring somebody to take up a good service as well for Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for coming here and guiding us. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Whatever you have said, I am not that much capable about, but I would at the same time say that if I am bad, then it's an insult to our guru. So whoever says that I am not that bad, if he says I'm not capable, fine. But if he says that I'm bad, that means it's an insult to our guru who has appointed or who has selected us.
Yeah.
So trying to in today's topic, see how wonderful the Lord has made the arrangement. Today's
Prabhu,
topic what we are discussing.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Prabhu. Sorry. Just I want to draw Rao Prabhu's attention. Is he there?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, can you share the screen? Chapter 13.
I will do.
Sorry, Uddhava Preshtha Prabhu. Please continue.
Yeah. So it's a Lord's arrangement, and I was just doing my japa in the morning, and some things, they immediately kind of intuitions which came to me. So fortunately, what with the topic what we have started is I said that, if I'm bad, that means it's a kind of, an insult or kind of a bad thing for my guru. But so the topic itself, today's topic will be basically on the guru, as we see in the first sloka itself of the 13th chapter of the first canto, which is uh, you know in that Vidura, he is coming back after getting the knowledge from Maitreya. So we will start with that first shloka, and just for the benefit of everybody, I will be talking more on Guru. So what we will do, we'll just go ahead with the 7 shlokas which have been assigned for this class. So we'll read the purports. They are wonderful purports, and we will get so much of insight. Prabhupada has given so much of in-depth information, and the information is in depth, but at the same time, it's in such a nutshell. It has been explained in these verses. So when we go through these verses, we'll really enjoy, and we'll try to understand, and we'll definitely, input from all the people who are there in the group. They can come up and they can share their experiences, or they can share the realizations when we are reading this purpose. There are so many things, and everybody must have noticed that whenever you're reading Srila Prabhupada's purports, there are so many in between the lines, explanations are there, which every time when you read the purport, you get a new kind of understanding. So similarly is the case with the purports of Bhagavad Gita, which Prabhupada has so lucidly he has explained. So we'll go ahead with the first, the shlokas. All the shlokas will go read the translations and the purport for all the 7 shlokas at one go, and then we will start. Whatever we have heard while reading these purports, we will try to grasp and we'll try to discuss about it. So it will be not only the discussion or the explanation from my side. I would rather love to hear from the devotees if they have some points they want to share, or they have some realizations while reading the purpose and the translations. So we start with. So before that, let us take the ashray of a guru. Om Adyantimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swaparam. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती जय पताका स्वामी नमो आचार्य पादाय निताय कृपापदायिनी गौर कथादामदय निर्ग्राम तारिणी नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे यदि दास्यसि मे कामां वरं त्वां वरदर्शव कामानां हृदय संरोहं भवतासु श्रुण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति अभीक्ष्णशः स्मरन्ति नन्दन्ति तव हितं जना तयैव पश्यन्ति न चिरेण तावकं भव प्रवाहो परमं पदाम्बुजम् त्वयिमेव अन्यविषयात् मतिर्मधुपते सकृत् प्रतिमुद्गता गता गंगे गौ धन्वति हरे कृष्ण. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 13th chapter, shloka number 1. So the shlokas, they are as per this. Sutovacha vidurastirthayatrayam maitriyad atmano gatim gnatva gnatva gadastinapuram taya vapta vivitsita. Can somebody read the translation and the purport?
Yes, Prabhu. Shri Sut Goswami said, while traveling on a pilgrimage, Vidur received knowledge on the destination of the self from the great sage Maitreya and then returned to Hastinapur. He became as well versed in the subject as he desired. Vidur. one of the prominent figures in the history of Mahabharata. He was conceived by Vyasdev in the womb of maid-servant of Ambika, mother of Maharaj Pandu. He is the incarnation of Yamraj. Being cursed by Munduk Muni, he was to become a Shudra. The story is narrated as below. Once upon a time, the state police caught some thieves who had concealed themselves in the hermitage of Munduk Mani. The police constables, as usual, arrested all the thieves and Munduk Mani along with them. The magistrate specifically punished the Muni to death by being pierced into a lance. When he was just to be pierced, the news reached the king, and he at once stopped to act on consideration of his being a great Muni. The king personally begged the Muni's pardon for the mistake of the men, and the saint at once went to Yamraj, who prescribes the destiny of the living beings. Yamraj, being questioned by the Muni, replied that a Muni in his childhood pierced an ant with a sharpened straw, and for that reason he was put into difficulty. The Muni thought it unwise on the part of the Yamraj that he was punished for his childish innocence, and thus the Muni cursed Yamraj to become a Shudra, and that this Shudra incarnation of Yamraj was known as Vedu, the Shudra brother of Dhritarashtra and Maharaj Pandu. But this Shudra son of the Kuru dynasty was equally treated by Bhishmadev along with his other nephews, and in due course Vidur was married with a girl who was also born in the womb of a Shudrani by a Brahman. Although Vidur did not inherit the property of his father, the brother of Bhishmadev, still he was given sufficient state property by Dhritarashtra, the elder brother of Vidur. Vidur was very much attached to his elder brother, and all along he tried to guide him on the right path. During the fratricidal war of Kurukshetra, Vidur repeatedly implored his elder brother to do justice to the sons of Pandu. But Duryodhan did not like such interference by his uncle, and thus he practically insulted Vidur. This resulted in Vidur's leaving home for pilgrimage and taking instructions from Maitreyi. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you. Okay, we will go to the shloka number 2. The shloka is Yavat Kritavan Prasnam Shakta Kausarava Grita Jataika Bhaktir Govinde Tebhyas Chopara Ramaha. The translations and purpose, anybody can read it?
Translation.
By
Hare. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Shri
Yeah.
Prabhupada. After asking various questions and becoming established in the transcendental loving service of Lord Krishna, Vidur retired from putting questions to Maitreyi
Hare Krishna.
Muni.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, 1 minute. So, like before the starting of the class, I had mentioned about Vidura's, stance, and then we had mentioned that Vidura, he has got the knowledge which has been mentioned in the previous shloka, and here it is now mentioned about how Maitreya Muni had, given the information and given the transcendental knowledge to Vidura. So that is explained in the purport. So we had to pay attention on some few points on this purport so that we can discuss at the later stage of the class. Hare Krishna. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Purport. Vidura retired from putting questions before Maitreya Muni when he was convinced by Maitreya Rishi that the summum bonum of life is to be finally situated in the transcendental loving service of Lord Krishna, who is Govinda, or one who satisfies his devotees in all respects. The conditioned soul, the living being, is material existence, seeks happiness by employing his senses in the mode of materialism, but that cannot give him satisfaction. He then searches after the supreme truth by the empire philosophic speculative method, and intellectual feats. But if he does not find the ultimate goal, he again goes down to material activities and engage himself in various philanthropic and altruistic work, which all fail to give him satisfaction. So neither fruitive activities nor dry philosophical speculations can give one satisfaction, because by nature a living being is the eternal survivor of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, and all the Vedic literature give him direction towards the ultimate end. The Bhagavad Gita 15.15 confirms this statement. Like Vidura, an inquisitive, conditioned soul must approach a bona fide spiritual master like Maitreya, and by intelligent inquiries must try to know everything about karma, fruitive activities, janana, philosophical research for the supreme truth, and
Gnana.
yoga, the linking process of spiritual realization. One who is not seriously inclined to put questions before a spiritual master need not accommodate a show bottle spiritual master, nor should a person who may be a spiritual master for others pose to be so. If he is unable to engage his disciple ultimately in the transcendental loving service of Lord Krishna, Vidura was successful in approaching such a spiritual master like Maitreya, and he got the ultimate goal of life, bhakti, onto Govinda. Thus, there was nothing to be known further about spiritual progress. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you so much. Prabhu, if one of the most important shlokas purport is this one, to understand what is the goal of our life. And so if the last statement, when we read it, it's mentioned Vidura was successful in approaching such a spiritual master like Maitreya, and he got the ultimate goal of life. So what is the ultimate goal of a life is explained here, which is bhakti. Bhakti to whom? Unto Govinda. Thus, there was nothing to be known further about spiritual progress. So we'll go to the next shloka. This is shloka number 3 and 4. Tam bandhum agatam drishtva dharmaputra sahanuja drishtastro yuyutsu cha suta saradvat pratha gandhari draupadi brahman subhadra chotara kripi anya cha jana jamaya pandor gnatya sasuta sriya. Translations and purport. When there was Vidura returned to the palace, all the
Prabhu,
inhabitants. Yes,
प्रभु
sir.
एक मिनट प्रभु, राव प्रभु को साइट कैन यू डिस्प्ले? Hare Krishna, Rao Prabhu, are you there? Hare Krishna, Rao Prabhu, are you there?
Yes, Prabhu.
His internet might be having some problem.
Possible. I think he got disconnected also. Ek minute, let me try to share one moment.
Yeah. Sorry, Prabhu, I'm not very techno savvy, so I'm reading it from my laptop. So I
Okay,
didn't
no
notice
problem.
that the screen was off.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. translations and purport for shloka number 3 and 4 of Srimad Bhagavatam 1, Canto 1, 13th chapter. When they saw Vidura return to the palace, all the inhabitants, Maharaj Yudhishthira, his younger brothers, Dhritarashtra, Satyaki, Sanjaya, Kripacharya, Kunti, Gandhari, Draupadi, Subhadra, Uttara, Kripi, many others wives of Kauravas and other ladies with children, all hurried to him in great delight. It so appeared that they had regained their consciousness after a long period. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. This is a very big purport, but worth reading and understanding. Gandhari, the ideal chaste lady
Prabhu,
in the history.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, let's give the devotees a chance to read.
Yeah,
Prabhu.
please. Yeah.
Rao Prabhu, if you are there, you want to read, or anyone wants to read? Sushil Prabhu, Uday Prabhu,
I
anyone?
can.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Should I read?
Yeah, please, Mataji. Yes.
Sumati Mataji, yes, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Krishna to all. Purport by Sri Prabhupada, Jai Sri Prabhupada. Gandhari, the ideal chaste lady in the history of the world, she was the daughter of Maharaja Subala, the king of Gandhar, now Kandhar in Kabul. In her maiden state, she worshipped Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is generally worshipped by Hindu maidens to get a good husband. Gandhari satisfied Lord Shiva, and by his benediction to obtain 100 sons, she was betrothed to Dhritarashtra, despite his being blind forever. When Gandhari came to know that her would-be husband was a blind man, to follow her life companion, she decided to become voluntarily blind. She wrapped her eyes with many silk linens, and she was married to Dhritarashtra under the guidance of her elder brother Shakuni. She was the most beautiful girl of her time, and she was equally qualified by her womanly qualities, which endeared every member of the Kaurava court. But despite of all her good qualities, she had the natural frailties of a woman, and she was envious of Kunti when the latter gave birth to a male child. Both the queens were pregnant, but Kunti first gave birth to a male child. Thus Gandhari became angry and gave a blow to her own abdomen. As a result, she gave birth to a lump of flesh only. But since she was a devotee of Vyasadeva, by the instruction of Vyasadeva, the lump was divided into 100 parts, and each part gradually developed to become a male child. Thus, her ambition to become the mother of 100 sons was fulfilled, and she began to nourish all the children according to her exalted position. When the intrigue of the battle of Kurukshetra was going on, she was not in favor of fighting with Pandavas. Rather, she blamed Dhritarashtra, her husband, for such a fratricidal war. She desired that the state be divided into two parts, the sons of Pandu and her own. She was very affected when all her sons died in the battle of Kurukshetra, and she wanted to curse Bhishma Dev and Yudhishthira, but she was checked by Vyasadeva. Her mourning over the death of Duryodhana and Dushasana before Lord Krishna was very pitiful, and Lord Krishna pacified her by transcendental messages. She was equally aggrieved on the death of Karna, and she described to Lord Krishna the lamentation of Karna's wife. She was pacified by Srila Vyasadeva when she showed her dead sons, then promoted to the heavenly kingdoms. She died along with her husband in the jungles of the Himalayas near the mouth of the Ganges. She burned in a forest fire. Maharaja Yudhishthira performed a death ceremony of his uncle and aunt. Vritha, daughter of Maharaj Surasena and sister of Vasudeva, Lord Krishna's father. Later, she was adopted by Maharaj Kunti Bhoj, and hence she is known as Kunti. She is the incarnation of the success potency of the personality of Godhead. The heavenly denizens from the upper planets used to visit the palace of King Kunti Bhoja, and Kunti was engaged for their reception. She also served the great mystic sage Durvasa, and being satisfied by her faithful service, Durvasa Muni gave her mantra by which it was possible for her to call for any demigod she pleased. As a matter of inquisitiveness, she at once called for the sun god who desired couplement with her, but she declined. But the sun god assured her immunity from virgin adulteration, and so the and so she agreed to his proposal. As a result of this couplement, she became pregnant, and Karna was born by her. By the grace of the sun, she again turned into a virgin girl, but being afraid of her parents, she quitted the newly born child Karna. After that, when she actually selected her own husband, she preferred Pandu to be her husband. Maharaja Pandu later wanted to retire from family life and adopt the renounced order of life. Kunti refused to allow her husband to adopt such life, but at last Maharaja Pandu gave her permission to become a mother of sons by calling some other suitable personalities. Kunti did not accept this proposal at first, but when vivid examples were set by Pandu, she agreed. Thus, by dint of mantra awarded by Durvasa Muni, she called for Dharmaraja, and thus Yudhishthir was born. She called for the demigod Vayu, air, and thus Bhima was born. She called for Indra, the king of heaven, and thus Arjuna was born. The other two sons, namely Nakul and Sahadev, were begotten by Pandu himself in the womb of Madri. Later on, Maharaja Pandu died at an early age, for which Kunti was so aggrieved that she fainted. Two co-wives, namely Kunti and Madri, decided that Kunti should live for the maintenance of five minor children, the Pandavas, and Madri should accept the sati rituals by meeting voluntary death along with her husband. This agreement was endorsed by great sages like Satsringa and other present on the occasion. Later on, when Pandavas were banished from the kingdom by the intrigues of Duryodhana, Kunti followed her sons as she equally faced all sorts of difficulties during these days. During the forest life, one demon girl, Hidimba, wanted Bhima as her husband. Bhima refused, but when the girl approached Kunti and Yudhishthira, they ordered Bhima to accept her proposal and give her a son. As a result of this combination, Ghatotkacha was born, and he fought very valiantly with his father against the Kauravas. In their forest life, they lived with a Brahmana family that was troubled because of one Bakasur demon, and Kunti ordered Bhima to kill the Bakasur to protect the Brahmana family against trouble created by the demon. She advised Yudhishthira to start for the Panchaladesh.
Hmm.
Draupadi was gained in this Panchaladesh by Arjuna, but by order of Kunti, all five of Pandava's brothers became equally the husband of Panchali or Draupadi. She was married with five Pandavas in the presence of Vyasadeva. Kunti Devi never forgot her first child, Karna, and after Karna's death in the battle of Kurukshetra, she lamented and admitted before her other sons that Karna was her eldest son prior to her marriage with Maharaja Pandu. Her prayers for the Lord after the battle of Kurukshetra when Krishna was going back home are excellently explained. Later, she went to the forest with Gandhari for severe penance. She used to take meals after each 30 days. She finally sat down in profound meditation and later burned to ashes in a forest fire. Prabhuji, can anybody can read further? Or should I continue?
Sure,
No,
Mataji.
I'll read, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Draupadi, the most chaste daughter of Maharaj Drupad and partly an incarnation of the goddess Saki, the wife of Indra, Maharaja Drupad performed a great sacrifice under the superintendence of the sage Yaja. By his first offering, Drishtadyumna was born, and by his second offering, Draupadi was born. She is therefore the sister of Drishtadyumna, and she is also named Panchali. The five Pandavas married her as a common wife, and each of them begot a son in her. Maharaj Yudhishthir begot a son named Pratibhit. Bhimsena begot a son named Suta Soma. Arjun begot Shrutakirti. Nakul begot Satanika, and Sahadev begot Shrutu Kama. She is described as the most beautiful lady, equal to her mother-in-law Kunti. During her birth, there was an arrow message that she should be called Krishna. The same message was also declared that she was born to kill many Kshatriyas. By dint of her blessings from Shankara, she was awarded five husbands equally qualified. When she preferred to select her own husband, princes and kings were invited from all the countries of the world. She was married with the Pandavas during their exile in the forest, but when they went back home, Maharaj Drupad gave them immense wealth as a dowry. She was well received by all the daughters-in-law of the Dhritarashtra. When she was lost in the gambling game, she was forcibly dragged into the assembly hall, and an attempt was made by Dhritarashtra to see her naked beauty. Even though there were elderly persons like Bhisham and Drone present, she was a great devotee of Lord Krishna, and by her praying, the Lord Himself became an unlimited garment to save her from the inside. A demon of the name Jatasur kidnapped her, but her second husband Bhimsen killed the demon and saved her. She saved the Pandavas from the curse of Maharaj Durvasa by the grace of Lord Krishna. When the Pandavas lived incognito in the palace of Virat, Ika, Ki Ichak was attracted by her executive beauty, and by arrangements with Bhima, the devil was killed and she was saved. She was very much aggrieved when her 5 sons were killed by Ashwathama. At the last stage, she accompanied her husband Yudhishthir and others to fell on the way. The cause of her falling was explained by Yudhishthir, but when Yudhishthir entered the heavenly planet, he saw Draupadi gloriously present there as the goddess of fortune in the heavenly planet. Subhadra, daughter of Vasudev and sister of Lord Krishna. She was not only a dear daughter of Vasudev, but also a very dear sister to both Krishna and Baldev. The two brothers and sister are represented in the famous Jagannath temple of Puri, and the temple is still visited by thousands of pilgrims daily. This temple is a remembrance of the Lord's visit at Kurukshetra during an occasion of solar eclipse and his subsequent meeting with the residents of Vrindavan. The meeting of Radha and Krishna during this occasion is a very pathetic story, and Lord Sri Chaitanya, in the ecstasy of Radharani, became always pinned for Lord Shri Krishna at Jagannath Puri. While Arjuna was at Dwarka, he wanted to have Subhadra as his queen, and he expressed his desire to Lord Krishna. Shri Krishna knew that his elder brother, Lord Baldev, was arranging her marriage elsewhere, and since he did not dare to go against the arrangement of Baldev, he advised Arjuna to kidnap Subhadra. So when all of them were on the pleasure trip on the Revata hill, Arjuna managed to kidnap Subhadra according to the plan of Shri Krishna. Shri Baldev was very angry at the Arjuna and he wanted to kill him, but Lord Krishna implored his brother to excuse Arjuna. Then Subhadra was duly married with Arjuna and Abhimanyu was born of Subhadra. At the premature death of Abhimanyu, Subhadra was very mortified, but on the death of Parikshit, she was happy and solaced. But on the birth of Parikshit, she was happy and solaced. Sorry, Hare Krishna.
Okay, we go to the sloka number 5. The sloka number 5 is Pratyujagmoha Praharsena Pranam Tanva Ivagatam Abhisamgamya Vidhivat Parishwangabhi Vadhanai. Translations and purport.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. With great delight, they all approached him as if life had returned to their bodies. They exchanged obeisance and welcomed each other with embrace. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. In the absence of consciousness, the limbs of the body remain inactive. But when consciousness returns, the limbs and senses become active, and existence itself becomes delightful. Vidura was so dear to the members of the Kaurava family that his long absence from the palace was comparable to inactivity. All of them were feeling acute separation from Vidura, and therefore his return to the palace was joyful for all. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Okay, now the sloka number 6 and then sloka number 7. Okay. Mumuchu prema bhaspaugham virahauta kanthya kataraha rajatam arhayam chakre Kritasana Parigraham. Translation.
Due to anxieties and long separation, they all cried out of affection. King Yudhishthira then arranged to offer sitting accommodations and a reception. Well, what do you mean by sitting accommodations?
One. Arrangements for sitting.
Acha, simple.
Simple. Okay. Now, sloka number 7. Tam bhuktavantam vishrantam asinat sukham asane prasyar yavan nato raja prahatesham cha shrivatam.
Can I read, Prabhu?
Translation.
Yes, Prabhu. Translation by Srila Prabhu. After Vidura ate sumptuously and took sufficient rest, he was comfortably seated. Then the king began to speak to him, and all who were present there listened. Purport. King Yudhishthira was expert in reception also, even in the case of his family members. Vidura was well received by all the family members by exchange of embraces and obeisances. After that, bathing and arrangements for a sumptuous dinner were made, and then he was given sufficient rest. After finishing his rest, he was offered a comfortable place to sit, and then king began to talk about all happenings, both family and otherwise. That is the proper way to receive a beloved friend or even an enemy. According to Indian moral codes, even an enemy received at home should be so well received that he will not feel any fearful situation. An enemy is always afraid of his enemy, but this should not be so when he is received at home by his enemy. This means that a person, when received at home, should be treated as a relative, so what to speak of a family member like Vidura, who was a well-wisher of all the members of the family. Thus Yudhishthira Maharaj began to speak in the presence of all the other members. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we have read all the 7 shlokas, their purports and the translations. So basically what we could gather from the information from all this is that when Vidura came back, and by that time, and the war of Kurukshetra was over, and when Vidura came, how he was received, and the moral codes are mentioned in the last shloka, that for how do we meet the people who are coming back, or who are even our enemies when they are received at home. How do we receive them? That's the moral code of our Indian moral code. So this has been explained. Now we will just check on the first 2 shlokas in which the importance of the Guru is mentioned. Like Maitreya Muni, he had given all the information, all the knowledge, transcendental knowledge, on the asking of Vidura. So even in those purports, if you see what is the ultimate goal of life is to understand, and is bhakti. That's the basic thing which I was reading, and I emphasize on that particular point. Now, and just we go back little bit on the first shloka itself. We have to understand who are the family members of the Vidura. So the biological father was Vedvyasa, and the mother's name is Parishrami. It's not mentioned in the purport, but it's there. The Parishrami is the name of the mother, and of course his stepbrothers were Dhritarashtra from Ambika and Pandu from Ambalika. So and the wife of Vidura is Sulabha. Sulabha is her name, and this is basically the background of Vidura. Now, the important point which is mentioned in the first 2 shlokas is about a teacher, about the Maitri Muni, and about the student, about the person who is Vidura. How did Vidura? It's mentioned there in the two purports that Vidura stopped asking questions when he got the complete knowledge that bhakti is the ultimate goal of life. So to learn anything in the material world, anything we want to learn in life, we need a teacher. We want to learn music, we need a teacher. We want to learn cooking, we need a teacher. If you don't learn cooking from a teacher and do it on your own, you completely mess it up. So then you can never compare yourself with a guru, which I mentioned at the beginning of the class. If I say I'm bad, then it is an insult to my guru. We have to learn spiritual topics from primarily and finally for serving Krishna. So these all information, these all instructions we have to hear from the guru, and the ultimate purpose is to serve Krishna. When you ask people about their own subjects, how in today's world, when you ask about a guy who has done an engineering in automobiles, when you ask about him of the new developments or something new which has come up, he wouldn't have the complete knowledge. They do not have full knowledge. But a bona fide teacher, a bona fide guru, knows his subject thoroughly well. So the guru, he knows his subject completely well. Such a person is called Tattvavid. Now, Tattvavid, what does Tattvavid means? Tattvavid is one who knows what he is doing thoroughly well, whether it is cooking, whether it is music, anything. Such a teacher is someone whom we must approach. Otherwise, if you approach a half-baked teacher, your recipes will be worst. So you have to first find out a Tattvavid who has the Tattva Gyan, and then we have to approach such Tattva Gyani and get the information so that you are thoroughly well versed with what he's trying to explain to you. Similarly, when you want to know about Krishna, you want to know philosophy, spirituality, we have to approach a teacher. Therefore, the scriptures explain that in Katha Upanishad that's mentioned, Tad Vignartham Sagurum Eva Vigachate Shrotyam Brahma Nishtham. This Shrotyam means that one who is coming in disciplic succession. And what is the proof that he has come under the disciplic succession is in the shloka itself is mentioned the person who is having Brahmanishtha, the person who is having the full knowledge of Brahman, he only can be a person who is in the disciplic section. Why do we need a guru in our spiritual life? The question arises, oh, I can just go and Google it out, I can read them some books and I can get the knowledge. So why do we need a guru? So we need a guru for, there are 6 things which the guru will provide us, and we can get this information from the guru. So what are these 6 things? And we will discuss the 6 things in details. The first thing is we learn from guru. Then the second is we align, the second point. Third is connect. Fourth is the guru sows the seed of bhakti. Then he provides us the direction. And last one is he gives us nourishment. So these 6 things, learn, align, connect, seed of bhakti, direction, and nourishment. So these are the 6 things because of which we need a guru. So let us go through in each and every point that we have mentioned. The first thing why we need or we approach a guru is to learn. Learn from guru. What do we have to learn from the guru? Learn from guru who is God, who am I, what's my relationship with the God, and how to revive that relationship. So there are 3 questions. Who am first who is God and who am I? That's first. What is the relationship between me and the God? Second question. Third question is how do I revive that relationship? So if you see in the shlokas in the first and second, you will these all informations, these all questions have been asked by Maitreya Muni and asked to Maitreya Muni by Vidura. And when these questions, when he was completely satisfied, he stopped asking questions which is mentioned in the second purport. Therefore, Guru teaches us, whatever Guru teaches us is divided. Now, first point, as I told, learn. That was the first thing what we learned. What we learned is who am I and who is God. Second thing is the relationship with God. And third thing is how to revive that relationship. What is the relationship between God and me, and how do I revive this relation? So these three things that we learn, they are divided into another three, parameters. So first is who am I and who is God and who am I? So that is and how do I? This has been explained in the scriptures as a sambandha, abhideya, and prayojan. So if somebody is there in the IT industry, he will be knowing that what is SAP. SAP. If suppose somebody can explain, then it will be easier for the rest of the people to understand what exactly SAP means. I think Suval Prabhu or any other from the IT, they can help me out with explaining what is SAP.
It's an enterprise-wide ERP for all various kind of business process management like finance, HR, procurement, and logistics and everything. So it's a kind of a all-in-all package for them at an enterprise level.
Yeah. So if we understand what is SAP, SAP, first is S stands for system, A stands for application, and P stands for product for data processing. So SAP is the process by which you can, too much of data can be synchronized, and it can be helpful for an organization. So SAP is usually implemented in big organizations. So this is called system, application, and product. So if you say SAP, so that basically in spirituality is Sambandha. S stands for Sambandha, A stands for Abhideya, and P stands for Prayojan. So Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojan. So what does this Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojan means? Sambandha means relationship. We know this is a Sanskrit word, and everybody knows Sambandha. Ke saath mein kya sambandha hai? What is a relationship? Then Abhideya. Abhideya means process of how to revive the relationship. That's the Abhideya, the process. The process of how to revive that relationship, how to enhance that relationship. And what is prayojan? Prayojan is the fruit of reviving the relationship. Once the relationship is revived, once the relationship is established, what is the fruit is prayojan. So sambandha, abhideya, prayojan. Now when we come to a guru, first and foremost thing, he will explain you, he glorifies Krishna. He says that Krishna is God. It's all the six opulences are there in totality. So all this knowledge is given by a guru. So he glorifies Krishna. He tells Krishna is very powerful. He tells about Krishna is beautiful. He's the most beautiful, or he's the only beautiful person which we can think about in totality. He has the full strength. He has the full knowledge. He has the full riches. He has fame. He has renunciation. All these things we get the information from. And why this is required? Because to establish a relationship, we need to know the qualities of the person with whom we are trying to have the relationship. So then he also explains, the guru explains that Krishna wants to help you and he can help you. Guru tells us, Guru makes us realize, he not only tells us, but he makes us realize that Krishna wants to help you and he can help you. There are two things which the Guru explains and makes us realize. At the same time, he also makes us realize there are a lot of people, they want to help you, but they can't help you. That is one thing. They want to help you. For example, suppose somebody is monetary in great difficulty. Now, as another person, he wants to help you, but the guy who wants to help you doesn't have himself the resources. So he wants to help, but he can't help. Similarly, there are other people, they don't want to help you. They can help you. They have the money. They can help you, but they don't want to help you. But who is God? God is a person. God is a personality who can help us and who wants to help us. So both the things are there. So he says that, he explains, the Guru explains that God is merciful, he is very kind, he is loving, powerful. This is what we hear from Guru. And once we hear more and more about Krishna and his qualities, there is a sambandha established, a relationship established. So what we hear from Guru, and we hear from the scriptures as explained by Guru. So the relationship, the sambandha is established. Then The second thing that the Guru teaches us is abhideya, the process. Now, once, for example, you know somebody, if you know, for example, if a girl is there in the college and a boy is there, and the boy hears about the girl. Oh, she's a beautiful girl. She has very many good qualities. She is very powerful. She has good contacts. She has a very good family background. She is virtuous. All these qualities, if a boy hears, then what does he do? Then he starts the process of getting getting in touch with her. So how does he do that? He goes and he gives, now the Valentine Day is approaching, so he'll give her a Valentine card, he'll give some jewelry, he'll give some perfumes. So similarly, Guru tells us how to, once we know who is God, Krishna is the God, so then Guru tells us how to approach God. So then he says that you have to take something with love, you have to offer to the Lord. And he tells us that's Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. So this is basically what Guru tells you. So the religion as of today is, taking. If you see the people, they will exploit the so-called, bottle bottle gurus, which is mentioned in the purport. It's mentioned that these type of people, what they will do, they will try to exploit. They will go on taking. Religion today is taking, whereas Krishna consciousness is giving. Love means to give. Lust means to take. Love means to serve. Lust means to exploit. Today's most religions are based on lust. Why? Because they want to exploit God. They want to exploit the God's nature. Take from God wherever. Whereas spirituality, what does the spirituality means? Spirituality means to serve God. That is abhideya. That's a process. So you have to serve. If you love somebody, you have to serve. You have to give. So this is basically. So there is what we have to do in spirituality. We are Dena Bank. We are not Lena Bank. We are Dena Bank means to they sabko they. Give your love, give your attention, give your, serve the Lord with all your heart. So that is basically what is abhideya. Now, what is prayojan? It is a fruit. When one actually serves Krishna, what all fruits he gets. So this is explained again by the Guru. He tells you the experience we get is of love, the experience we get of satisfaction, the experience we get of nourishment, the experience we get of clarity is prayojan, the fruit. And anyone who does that, what the teacher says, what the Guru says perfectly, he will get the results. It is not that if these are whatever parameters we have mentioned, if we just follow that, it will be done. No, you have to do it perfectly as the Guru has explained you. When we try to follow exactly as the teacher or Guru says, then only comes the prayojan, then only the fruits, then only the experience of love, the experience of satisfaction, the experience of nourishment, the experience of clarity is you'll get it. Why we go to Guru? To learn Krishna consciousness about three things, and we want to learn is SAT. That is Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojan. Otherwise, we will, if we don't follow as per the Guru's instructions, that is Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojan, what will happen? We will go on doing, but we'll not get anything. We will be doing something out of the box. We will be doing something out of the box. And what will it result? It will result in nothing. All who come to Krishna consciousness and do it the way it has been explained by Guru must get experience, that is prayojan. That is the ultimate thing. You'll get the experience. You get the experience of love. You get the experience of satisfaction. You get the experience of nourishment, and you get the experience of clarity. If you don't get this, that means there is something wrong. So you have to then again concentrate on your sambandha, on your abhideya, and on your prayojan. So this is the process. Now, with the experience, you develop faith. Once you get the experience, as experience of the love, experience of satisfaction, experience of nourishment, the faith will come up. So now, which is most important? Krishna, and when you have a firm faith, at that time, what you will say, Krishna, if you embrace me or you trample me, doesn't matter. I still will be yours because I love you, and not for the money that you have given me, not for the facilities that you have given me. As it is, these facilities and the money that you have given me, I am definitely, and be fully using it in the service of you. So this is basically what is the outcome. Now, what is the second reason? We have first found that there are 6 things why we need a guru. So first thing is to learn. To learn is SAT, which is Sambandha, Abhidhe, and Prayojan. So this is the first thing which Guru will help us to get. Now, to learn. Now, what is the second? The second reason why we need Guru is to align our desires. Now, what does that mean? So if there is a stack of straw, there is a big stack of straw or big stack of grass, and in that there are so many metal, iron nails which have been scattered. So to find that those nails, it will be very difficult to get them in at one time. So the best idea to do to get the iron nails from the stack of grass is what we need is a magnet. So the moment you keep a very strong, powerful magnet, all the nails which are scattered here and there in the stack of grass, they will immediately come and they will go right into the powerful magnet and they will stick to the magnet. So this is how we can get it out, get the nails out from the sawdust or from the stack of grass. Now, all our hearts have millions and millions of desires. All our desires, one in one direction, another in another direction, all scattered. So we think sometimes, अरे परिवार के लिए इतना करना है, अरे यार बच्चे के लिए इतना करना है, अरे लिए इसके लिए तो हो गया, अभी यार मेरे लिए करना है, अभी मैंने फिर उसके बाद में मुझे अपने देश के लिए कुछ करना है, अभी मेरे को अपने जो मेरी कम्युनिटी के लिए करना है. तो ये सब हमारी जो है ना इच्छाएं हैं, हमारी जो आइडियाज हैं, हमारी थिंक है कि ये हर जगह पे पड़ा हुआ है. तो बाद में ये सब करने के बाद यार सब लोगों के लिए तो मैंने किया, अब मुझे अपने थोड़ा मेरे लिए भी करना चाहिए. तो ऐसी जो है कितनी सारी इच्छाएं हैं, कितनी सारी डिजायर्स हैं. ऑल आवर डिजायर्स दे आर नॉट अलाइन्ड, they are all scattered, and we are confused. Sometimes we are thinking about, oh no, I shouldn't be selfish, I have to think about my family. Oh no, even family is mine, that means I'm selfish for my family, I have to think about my community, then I have to think about my nation. So all these type of confusions are there. So we need orientation. Only when all desires are directed to Krishna, and then our service, then to the service and the community, they all together they do the service for Krishna. This will help us. So this is how, now when we know that all our desires must be oriented to the powerful magnet Krishna, that knowledge is given by Guru. How many desires are there? So there is a explanation that, if you make the sky as a paper, and all the trees on the mother earth, you just make them pen, you kalam banao, and all the waters of the oceans, let them be the ink. So even after having the paper as your sky, all the trees as your pen, and all the water of the oceans as your ink, you will never be satisfied. The desires will be even more than that. So Guru is like that powerful magnet. His influence, his power in our life changes the directions of our desire. As soon as the direction is changed, suddenly you realize that the things are falling in place. Once the direction is, everything is coming synchronized and going in a proper manner. So this synchronization is taken care by Guru. There is much more meaning in life. Then you realize, oh, there is much more. I am feeling more satisfied, more contented. Confusions are going off. Everything seems to be aligned properly. Desires are aligned. The words we speak are in alignment with our desires. So whatever our desires are there, these desires are going according to, they are synchronized. They are in a proper manner. So what happens? They are aligned. Now how are the desires aligned? When we come to know, oh, any desires which is not in favor of serving Krishna, we will eradicate, we will remove that desire. So whatever desires are there, the desires will be aligned and it will be going in the flow to for the service of Krishna. So alignment with our desires. Then now Guru is a powerful magnet. As soon as his influence comes in our life, the first thing is that all our desires get aligned with Krishna. Slowly, steadily, it comes into words. Now what happens? Whatever we talk, those words are also in the service of Krishna, in the glorifying Krishna. So desires and our words, they get synchronized in a proper manner. We do not criticize, we do not hurt somebody, we do not blaspheme somebody, no gossip, talk only if it is necessary in the service of God. And what we talk, we do. Now, first, our desires are aligned, so that, and after our desires are aligned, whatever we say, that is also in synchronization with our desires. So we will not blaspheme, we will not cheat somebody, we will not do all the nonsense. So everything will become, it's getting aligned in a proper manner. Now what happens? Whatever we talk, we will do it. So there is a very nice bhajan of Sant Tukaram. Bole taisa chale, tyachi vandavi paule. It's in Marathi. It means that the person who says, and whatever he says, he does that. For such kind of if that person is there, I would love to touch his feet. I love to touch his his blessings, get his blessings. So bole taisa chale tyachi vandavi paule. That doesn't mean the people that are materialistic, they will say something, they will do something, and there is no synchronization in that. So bole taisa chale. So bole means what? What should he say? What should he say? He should say about Krishna. He should always talk about Krishna. So once the person is talking about Krishna, and his words are exactly what he has heard, and his desires are in synchronization with what he's talking, then for such person, I would bow before him and take his blessings. So why do we need a guru? Because of these six things, as I mentioned: learn, align the desires, and then we get connected. We want to learn what is Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan, to align our desires, thoughts, words, and deeds to Krishna. Now we need connection to Krishna. We cannot approach if you need a connection in your home, the electricity is already there. You cannot go to Diva's head office and ask for the connection. The switches are here, so you have to connect to the switches accordingly. You can use your gadgets. So the guru is a socket here. The power station is like Diva. Diva is the power station. From there, you are getting the connection. He is already connected with Diva and in the form of switch. And when you are connecting yourself as a gadget, you're connecting to the switch, you are getting connected with Diva through the socket. And this is what we understand. This is the connection that is created by Guru, between us and the Lord. Now, what happens when the connection is created? What happens when the connection is created? Now, when the connection is created, you get the knowledge. First and foremost thing, you get the knowledge of Krishna, you get mercy of Krishna, and you get the love of Krishna. So only Krishna's love can satisfy us, and that you can get through Guru. You cannot get it directly without a Guru. So no one else can satisfy with anything other than love. So you have to get this love from Krishna. And that love from Krishna will come through Guru, who is a socket, and you are a gadget. You are a gadget. A gadget gets, charged up only when he is connected to the socket. So when you're connected to the socket, you get the power, you get the knowledge, you get the mercy, you get the love from Krishna. And this is what the Guru is meant for. He makes a connection between you and the Lord. Now, we need a Guru to sow a seed of bhakti in our hearts. Brahmanda Brahmite Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Kripa Pai Bhakti Lata Beej. Brahmanda Brahmite Kaun? Bhagyavan Jeev. The seed of bhakti is given by Guru to the disciples. Now we must understand there's a factory. Krishna is producing abundant amount of bhakti, beej, but no one is there to take it. There is no buyer. People don't want the seed of devotional service. People do not, they want to enjoy the material world, and they want to come into this Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Chakkar. People don't want. Krishna is producing. There is a factory of abundant amount of beej, bhakti beej, but there is no buyer. There are a lot of customers, There are a lot of customers, but they are a lot of customers for what? For the material things. So who are these customers? जो कष्ट कर कर मर जाना पसंद करते हैं. कष्ट कर कर मर जाना पसंद करते हैं, वो है कस्टमर. The customers are there, but they are for the material things. तो कष्ट खा के मतलब कष्ट करेंगे और कष्ट 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 कर करके मर जाएंगे. They will die and again come back into this material world for जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि. So those कस्टमर हैं. मगर जो सही माने में जो गुरु से भक्ति के बीज, भगवान की जो भक्ति के बीज हैं, गुरु के माध्यम से लेना चाहते हैं, ऐसे कोई नहीं है. तो गुरु इज लाइक अ फार्मर. Guru, with all these things, he is a farmer. He sows the seed of bhakti in our hearts, and which cannot be done on our own. हम खुद नहीं कर सकते. हमको भगवान का ये जो है, ये जो एक जो खेडूत है या जिसको बोलते हैं एक किसान है, वो आके अपने मन के अंदर जो है, हमारे हृदय के अंदर उस भक्ति लता बीज को वो वहां पर बोते हैं, जो अंकुरित होता है, which gets fructified. This is the work of a guru. Guru only will do it. Even Krishna cannot do it. Bhagavad Gita cannot do it, because Krishna has appointed guru and tells guru that you have to do it. तो भगवान ने जो गुरु को माध्यम रखा हुआ है कि वो अपनी भक्ति जो है गुरु के माध्यम से हमारे पर. अगर गुरु सेटिस्फाइड नहीं है, गुरु ने आपको जो है सेटिस्फाइड नहीं है, तो आप भक्ति के अंदर आगे नहीं बढ़ सकते. इसके लिए हमको गुरु का आश्रय, गुरु आश्रय इज वेरी 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 इंपॉर्टेंट. नाउ एवरीवन वांट्स टू यूज द जैक. सबको जो है तरीका यूज करना कि भाई अरे मटेरियल वर्ल्ड के अंदर वो देखते हैं भाई यहाँ से काम नहीं हुआ तो अरे उसका जो है वास्ता है, वो वास्ते से हम काम करते हैं, ऐसे करके हम ऊपर जाएंगे. नो वन वांट्स टू अप्रोच. हम लोग जो है जो इवन भक्ति के अंदर हम लोग होते हैं, अरे हम डायरेक्टली करेंगे, हम ऐसा करेंगे, हम इसको जानते हैं, हम उसको जानते हैं, डायरेक्टली गुरु के पास. ऐसा नहीं होता है. You have to be humble, you have to bow down, you have to learn by serving the Guru. Everyone wants direct approach. सबको जल्दी चाहिए, मगर वो ऐसा नहीं होता. There is no shortcuts to bhakti. It is only by the mercy of the Lord through Guru that you can progress in bhakti. Therefore, to surrender to Guru, oh big thing. हम लोग अरे गुरु के आगे झुकना नहीं समझ में आता है. But भगवान ने ये सिस्टम बनाई है, तो you have to approach the Guru. With the blessings of the Guru, you can go ahead. Now, Guru gives direction in our life. Guru कैसे बताते हैं? People do not have the clue as to where are we. उनको पता ही नहीं है कि हम कहाँ जा रहे हैं, कहाँ कर रहे हैं. First, we don't know, and if we know, that means we are heading towards hell. अगर हमको पता है, अगर भौतिक चीजों के पीछे पड़ते रहेंगे, तो we are going to hell. Guru is like a road sign. He is waiting on behalf of Krishna. जो गुरु हैं, वो एक जो साइन बोर्ड है, वो आपको मतलब वो बता रहे हैं. गुरु कम्स टू दिस वर्ल्ड सेंट बाय कृष्णा टू स्टैंड इन दिस वर्ल्ड एंड गिव द डायरेक्शन टू द पीपल हु आर लुकिंग फॉर सॉल्यूशंस टू द रियल प्रॉब्लम. द रियल प्रॉब्लम ऑफ लाइफ इज जन्म मृत्यु जरा और व्याधि. ये सबसे बड़ा जो प्रॉब्लम है, इससे निकलने के लिए, इससे ये चक्रव्यूह से बाहर निकलने के लिए गुरु जो है हमको रास्ता बताते हैं. और वो रास्ता जब वो बताते हैं और वो हमको मार्गदर्शन देते हैं, जो सही माने में गुरु गाइड्स यू लाइक अ रोड साइन. एंड टू टेक भगवत गीता, श्रीमद भागवतम, टेम्पल एक्सेट्रा, वो आपको बताते हैं कि आप भगवत गीता पढ़ो, भागवतम पढ़ो, जो मंदिर में जाओ. जब ये आप करोगे गुरु के आदेशानुसार, तो इमीडिएटली एवरीथिंग विल फॉल इन प्लेस. नाउ गुरु ब्रिंग्स नरिशमेंट in our life. This is one of the most important and the final quality, and why we need a guru. Guru brings nourishment in our life. How does the guru brings nourishment in our life? See, if there is a lotus flower, and a lotus flower is there in the water, and this lotus flower will not bloom until and unless there is sunshine. Okay, the lotus flower will only bloom when there is a sunshine. So who is sunshine? Sunshine is Lord Krishna. He is the sunshine. And who is the lotus flower? We are the lotus flower. But now, even if the sunshine is there and this lotus flower is there, until this lotus flower is not connected, it is not in the pond, it will not bloom. So Guru is the water in the pond. he nourishes us. So when he nourishes us, the lotus flower, the kamal, it blooms with the help of the sunshine, which is Lord Krishna. So until unless if we are not in the water of Guru's grace, until unless we are not in the water of Guru's grace, we will not be nourished by Krishna's mercy. Guru provides the spiritual nourishment to the heart. So this is basically what I wanted to bring to your to the about Guru, which I had some points which I wanted to share with you. So basically, to recap, we can understand what we there are 7 points which has been explained that why do we need a guru. So first we need a guru is to learn. So what do we learn from Guru is sap, which is sambandha, abhideya, and prayojan. Sambandha is a relationship, then abhideya is how to revive that relationship, and prayojan is the fruit of the relationship. And the fruit of relationship, as we mentioned, there are satisfaction of love, you get the satisfaction of nourishment, you get the satisfaction of mercy from the Lord. This is that first is learn. Then why do we need a guru? Is we need a guru to align what? Our desires. The desires which are all material desires, even what we are having, the spiritual desires, they are also all scattered over. So we need to have that synchronized, have to be aligned. Now, when we do that, what happens when all our desires are aligned in a proper manner? Whatever we talk about Krishna only, and whatever we do is do according to the scriptures and the instructions of Guru. So alignment is required, and alignment can be provided by Guru. Then what does Guru do? Guru does a connection between us and the Lord, and Guru works as a socket, and the powerhouse is Krishna, and we are the gadgets. So when we get connected to the socket, we get the power, and we get the power through Guru from Krishna. So that is the connection. And then what does a Guru do? Guru does sows a seed of bhakti in our heart, which is barren. And once we take up to the learning, alignment, and connection, this barren land starts to become it gets nourished, and it has been there. The Lord, Guru, he sows the seed of bhakti, and when this bhakti Lata Beach, it goes on increasing. What does happen? We get direction. We get the direction from the Lord. We get the direction from the Lord through Guru. And what does the finally is that we get the nourishment, and nourishment, as explained, that Guru is there. Guru's mercy is there in form of water in the pond, and we, as a lotus, we get ourselves bloomed when the mercy of Krishna is there as a sunshine. But until unless we are not in the mercy of the water of Lord of Guru, we will never be nourished. These are the basic things. And finally, there is another point which is mentioned there in the shlokas ahead. There is a point where Gandhari, she has, what you call, what does she do? She is hitting her abdomen because she was pregnant at the time, and she got envious. So now there are very many good points on how to get this anartha removed from your one of the anarthas which are there. So how many anarthas are there? So there are 6 anarthas, which is, as I mentioned in my previous classes also, they are page ill page of our human life. The human life is the ill page, और बीमार पन्ना है हमारे जीवन के अंदर. वो बीमार पन्ना कौन सा है? So it's a page ill. So it's pride, anger, greed, envy. These are the 4. Then I stands for illusion, and L stands for lust. So one of the important and one of the most vulnerable thing in our life is enviousness. We are envious of others. So similarly, Gandhari was envious of Kunti, and because Kunti gave the birth to the Yudhishthira Maharaj first, and because of that, she got envious and she hit her stomach, and a lump of flesh was came out, and then as per the instructions of Vyasadeva, they were cut into 100 pieces, and the 100 children were born. So basically, enviousness is what is envy? So what is the spelling of envy? It's ENVY. And you can also write this in the initials as N and V. So usually there are banners outside the companies which mentions NV. So what is NV? NV means no vacancy. That means there is no vacancy in the realms of the Lord in Golok Vrindavan if you have enviousness. In fact, all the 6 anarthas are to be removed. All the 6 anarthas are to be removed. And you have to get rid of all the 6 anarthas so that you can enter into the realms of the Lord to serve him in a proper manner, in a perfect manner. So envy is no vacancy, and so we have to get rid of this anartha. And there are points, how do we get, why this envy comes up, where does it come from, how do we fight against this envy, how do we try to combat against the envy, and what are the results of envy. So there is a very many good points on that. We can discuss about this in any of the next classes. So if there's any questions or anything which is
Prabhu, can you repeat these 6 anarthas? Pride, anger, greed, envy,
illusion,
illusion,
and lust.
Okay.
Kam, krodh, lobh, moh, mad, or matsarya. This is basically what we tell. Kam, krodh, lobh, moh, mad, matsarya. So just to understand that, and you try to, many times, especially I am a dumb guy. So I used to forget the 6 anarthas. If I remember 4, I will remember, forget 2 of them. So then I made an acronym for that. So that's an ill page of our human life. It's illusion, lust, and then page, which is pride, anger, greed, and envy. So this is basically it. So because of anger, see what happened. Because of anger and because of enviousness, Kunti, this Gandhari, she, punched her own stomach, and that was the result of what was the result is that way. So there is another one also. There is an example which is there in Bhagavatam. If you give me just a minute, I can try to find out. Just give me a minute, please. Here we go.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji, tell me.
Is something going on? Yeah, I just want to just one.
I was just trying to find out some file on. There is a shloka. I just view what are the. Okay, now just a synopsis of what is envy and what is it about. What is the root cause of envy? Why does a person he is envious of somebody else? The root cause of envy is desire to enjoy independently of Krishna. Person wants to enjoy independently of Krishna. So anything that does not support our desire to enjoy fosters envy. So anything that does not support our desire to enjoy. If you want to enjoy something and that does not, anything that does not support it, so then you have envy for that. You become envious of that person or envious of that thing. Now, what are the results of envy? I'm just taking a small synopsis of that lecture. The results of envy. What are the results of envy? So there is a shloka in Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 14th chapter, shloka number 43. The shloka is, the part of the shloka is Vidvesha Nasta Matayo Striyo Daruna Chetasaha. Vidvesha Nasta Matayo. What is Vidvesh? Vidvesh is envy. So if you see the 6th canto, 14th chapter, 43 shloka. Vidvesha Nasta Matayo Striyo Daruna Chetasaha. So if you can share the screen for that, 6:14:43.
प्रभु एक मिनट, प्रभु आपका वीडियो भी ऑन करो प्रभु, मैं तब तक स्क्रीन शेयर करता हूँ, एक मिनट. प्रभु 6 कौन सा? 6:13.
6:14:43.
अच्छा, राव प्रभु, you are sharing? Okay, then I will not share. Okay. Thank you.
So, Prabhu, can you just recollect what this chapter is on what? I think it is about, I don't remember the names.
This is about Chitraketu.
Chitraketu, yes. Chitraketu and his wife, what's her name?
वाइफ का नाम याद नहीं है प्रभु.
Yes,
Sorry.
okay. I'll just, yeah. Chitraketu. Yeah. Okay, so if you see
Krutadyuti.
Kritaditi, yeah. Yes. So if you see the shloka, it highlights the results of envy. Now, what is the result of envy? The result of envy is Vidvesha Nasta Matayo Striyo Daruna Chetasaha. What happens? Vidvesh is enviousness. Because of enviousness, Nasta Matayo, yani your mati, your intelligence is completely destroyed because of enviousness. Vidvesha Nasta Matayo Striyo Daruna Chetasaha. The Chetasa means Chetana or your heart. What becomes of your heart? The heart becomes hard-hearted. Daruna means like a wood, log of wood. So Striyo Daruna Chetasaha. So Kritadriti is the lady who injects poison to the her what you call the second wife of Chitraketu, and the child is killed. The child is killed because she gives the poison to the child because she is not able to bear the child, and the other wife of Chitraketu, she bore a child. So this lady, Kritadati, what does she does? She gives the poison to the child, to the newborn child, and the child is killed. Why? Just because she couldn't bear the child prior to the second wife of Chitraketu. So that kind of, up to that level, the enviousness can go. That somebody will inject poison to a newborn baby. So this is the what you call the result of envy. We heard like what is enviousness. Enviousness, if you want to enjoy separately from Krishna, and somebody is an obstruction in that, so what happens? You become envious with that person. Now what happens? The results of envy is what? Vidvesha Nasta Matayo Striyo Daruna Chetasa. Now how? Like the second thing is when these kind of person who are envious, what they say, oh, I'm not doing it physically, I'm just, it's a thought, that came to my mind, I don't like that person. But even the thought, what happens? The thought then becomes a strong position, and it makes you act. When you continuously contemplate on the things that you are envious about, that envious will become into an action. So this is what happened with Kritaditi. What did she do? And she injected poison. She gave poison to the child. So she was just thinking, and then it went up to that level. So even the thoughts of being enviousness, they will create an impact on your actions. So there is a shloka which is there from the Niti Shastra. It says that Jale Tailam Khale Guhyam Patre Danam Managapi Shastre Jnanam Swayam Eva Vistara Vastutaha. What does that mean? Jale Tailam. If you just put a drop, or you just take a spoon of water, a spoon of oil, and put it on a big tub of water which is filled. Just put the oil, a spoon of oil on the water. What happens? Jale Tailam. After some time, the entire oil will be scattered over the full tub of water. It will be all scattered over. So Jale Tailam Khale Goyam. If you give a person Khale means a Khalnayak, and a guy who is a villain, if you give Khale Goyam, give him some information, and if he gets an information, a secret information, what he will do? He will divulge, he will give this information to everybody. So Khale Goyam. Jale Tailam Khale Goyam. Then Patre Danam Managapi. At the same time, if you give a dan, if you give a dan to a very good brahmana who is in a capacity to receive the dan. So if you give the dan to that brahmana, and brahmana has done a wonderful job, what he will do? He'll never keep. He will go to each and everyone and tell him, see this Yajman, see this person is very nice. He has given me the danam, which is very good, and he is a very nice person. So Jale Tailam Khale Goyam Patre Danam Managapi Shastre Jnanam Swayameva. The Gyan which is mentioned, the knowledge which is there in the Shastras, Shastre Jnanam Swayameva. The whatever knowledge is there in the Shastras, which will automatically it will be scattered, automatically it will be explained, automatically it will be given to all the people. Why? Because that's the nature of this vastu, that's the nature of these the people, nature of the things which has been explained. So what? Jale Tailam. So the quality of tail in the in the jal. Then Khale Goyam, the quality of a Khalnayak for having an information, secret information. Then Patre Danam, that means a Brahmana having a Yajman serving the Brahmana in a nice way. So automatically all these things, these vastus, they have that potency to automatically go everywhere. So similarly, whenever we think that when we think about a thought, it's just a thought. So Chanakya Niti in the Darpan Shastra, it mentions that not Chanakya Niti, Darpan Shastra, it mentioned that Jale Telam, Khale Goyam, Patre Danam Manakapi, Shastre Ganam Swayameva, Vistarita, Vastutaha. So this is basically for what happens whenever the thoughts are there in the mind, they are passive. But these thoughts, when contemplated again and again, they become what they become. They become as an action. So example of even Prajapati Daksha is giving. Well, what is Prajapati Daksha? He is thinking about Lord Shiva, and then finally, what does he do? He criticizes Lord Shiva, and because he is envious. So these are the two examples which are there, and how to get over this, anarthas. That's a long way. We can discuss about it in any of the next classes. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for bearing me for such a long class. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, in verse 3 and 4, there is a sentence, Kunti is the incarnation of the success potency of the personality of the Godhead. What exactly this success potency?
Success means to get your work done, whatever work you want. And Kunti Maharani, see, Kunti Maharani is a very, very, very good devotee. We, like I was in the initial prayers when we started the class, there are two shlokas. One is that Shruvanti Gayanti Grananti Abhikshnasha Smranti Nandanti Tave Hitam Jana Taeva Pashyanti Nacharena Tavakam Bhava Pravaho Paramam Padambujam. That's one. And Taimeva Anya Vishayat Matir Madhupate Shakrat Ratimutvata Adda Gange Gauma Udanvati. So these two shlokas are from the Kunti Maharani's prayers. She is such a wonderful devotee, and whatever, first and foremost, she doesn't desire anything. So these two shlokas, in one of the shlokas is mentioned, like, I have the desire of what? She says, my desire. Now Kunti Maharani is saying, I have a desire of following like Ganga. Where does the Ganga starts from? It starts from Gomukh. Now, what is the aim of Ganga? So she is explaining this in the shloka what I just recited. Gange Gauma Udanvati. Now, from where the Uday of Ganga is happening, from there till she meets the ocean. Till she meets the ocean, she is not worried whatever comes in her way. Her success is to reach the sea, the ocean. So what does she, when the Ganga, it starts from Himalayas, it goes on, she goes on here and there, whatever, there are rocks, there are trees, there are barks, there are so many things in between. She just moves, she just flows, and her aim is to go and reach the ocean. So similarly, what Kunti Maharani is saying in the Kunti Stuti, I have the desire that I want to, whatever are the problems that are coming in my life, I need more problems. Why? Because if I'm having the problems, I'll remember you, and my attention towards you will be undeviated. It will not be deviated. It will be going straight right unto you. So this kind of devotee is there. Obviously, she has been blessed, and she is the one where the success is always with her, because Krishna is there with her. So this is basically what's meant. If
Thank you.
Subal or anybody else can highlight or can explain on this point also, it's please.
No, Prabhu, I think his question was about what does it mean by success potency in terms of the line that is written here. But Prabhuji, sorry, I am not aware of that one. I'm sorry, I may not be able to explain that. Krishna Swarup Prabhu, do you know anything?
No, Prabhu. I'm just reading that also now, right now. I'm reading the same now.
Sushil Prabhu, once we,
No problem, Prabhu.
if
I
we get
just
to know, we'll come back to you.
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
when I read this from the books, I keep on marking, okay, this line has to be understood. So
Okay,
that's why I asked.
we'll come back to you, Prabhu. One of us will come back. Any other question? Okay. So thank you, Uddhava Preshtha Prabhu. Wonderful class. A good and detailed explanation about the importance of Guru in our life. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining. See you next week.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.